I remade every mod into dragons in Minecraft. Let's turn this skeleton into a skeletal dragon. This head needs to be a giant dragon skull. We'll build out that body and turn these bones into legs. And now let's make these blocks into bones. The skeletal dragon at first sort of looks like a very bony dog, but once those wings start moving, I'm sure this skeletal dragon is going to look a little bit more fierce. Let's throw down a bunch of husks. Okay, he's turned towards the husks. That's a good sign. And what is that? A flaming pillar of doom? It slowly goes out, headed towards these husks. The pillar has no sort of targeting. He managed to get hit by the next one, though. It just sort of goes in a straight line. And if these husks just walk away, well, then they tend to survive. This creeper will be our wizard creeper. First, of course, is making that head into a dragon. Give it some flaring horns, give him a body, and a set of legs. And a wyvern has its wings and arms combined. Give it back that creeper coloring, and it's ready to run. Now that looks a little bit more like the type of dragon I'd expect to see. A slightly different species. The blood inside is probably green instead of blue. Oh, wait a second. When this guy walks, he sort of looks like he's dancing. Watch him move. Let's turn that dancing down a bit and see what he can do. Okay, here goes our wyvern creeper. Oh, he's dancing real fast before he goes for an attack here. Bam, creeper had explosive. Another explosion. Bam, 2 husks that time. It looks like he's not shooting quite fast enough to group them up, but it is hitting directly on target. Let's find out which one of these guys comes out on top in a head-to-head battle. One pillar comes out from our skeleton, and one head was fired off by our wyvern. There's the pillar, but the pillar was avoided because it has no targeting ability. The creeper stands 2 hits and gets hit by that pillar. I don't think he's catching on that he should stand out of the blue fire instead of standing inside of it. And down goes our skeletal dragon. That leaves our wyvern creeper as the standing champ so far, but it's king of the hill, so we need to grab another competitor. Let's turn this blaze into a blaze dragon. First a head with a bunch of horns, then we'll give it a body standing up on 2 legs, add some wings, and we'll give it some armor before adding that fiery blaze color. And our blaze dragon is looking like a Pokemon with his bony metal head down to the back of his tail. Everybody hold on just a second. I just realized that the legs aren't working on this guy. He's walking around. Well, more so floating. The blaze dragon is perfect to tack on the classic dragon ability, fire breath. Of course, the flame leaves a burn effect afterwards, which should do extra damage. Seriously, oh my. It's gonna be the blaze versus our explosive creeper. We're gonna have to see if our blaze dragon can leave the creeper burning enough to do enough damage to knock him out. There, he's on fire. The fire is sticking and it is hurting. That is good news for you, my friend. Here he goes. That's 3 hits so far that hit the blaze dragon, and the entire time though, this wyvern creeper has been burning. I have a feeling that the constant burn on this guy is gonna manage to take him down first. There goes the super fast prop to knock him out of the world. Right there, the wyvern creeper goes down. Our blaze dragon is looking super powerful right now. Let's turn a chicken into an adorable baby dragon. We know he needs a head with itty bitty horns and some sloppy little ears, some tiny little arms and legs. Look at those little wings. An adorable face wearing a broken eggshell on its head. And this baby dragon is looking cute. Look at those little arms flap. It's forgotten how to flap the wings. He doesn't have the total fire breath down, but he's got a little bitty flame that he can fire out. This little flame is sort of like a little sneeze of fire breath. Yeah, but of course these husks aren't quite as big as a blaze dragon, and this blaze dragon is massive. So let's not get our hopes up yet. Our baby dragon looking all fresh-like with those arms flapping. Let's see if the little guy can do it. That was a lot of fire breath. Instantaneously, he's already burning up, but he's tossing his little sneezy balls of doom out pretty consistently. It hasn't stopped at all. This seems to be a replay from the last matchup. Our king of the hill might remain king of the hill unless these little baby sneeze breaths are doing far more damage than I anticipate they're doing. Oh my word, and they are! This is the upset of the century! The baby dragon took the win! Our king is a child! We're gonna have to see how long that lasts! We'll make this Enderman into an Ender Hydra. To be a Hydra, this guy's gonna need at least 3 heads. So we'll give it a base body with a super long tail to balance out those extra heads. And add some strong legs to support that extra weight. Take that head and triple it. Look at that massive dragon. This perfectly crafted model with 3 heads. And of course, if the theories are correct, these heads should grow fast. Our baby dragon is going to have to prove itself on this one, especially when the Ender Hydra has a poison breath, a constant black flame that comes out non-stop. Watch this. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, he survived. Oh, not long. Yikes. That flame breath is looking magnificent, and our little baby dragon doesn't quite have the same ability, but the determination of this little guy might lead him to victory. But to be honest, I sort of doubt it. We'll see. It'll let these two prove themselves if they can, and baby dragon is the first one to go, but that is a constant fire out from this Ender Hydra. It looks like the Hydra's actually taking a break in between shots, though, leaving a chance for these little fireballs, Jesus, to catch up. I'm sort of rooting the little guy on, but that poison seems to be hurting. The Ender Hydra is hiding in the wall for a second before coming back out, though, still taking hit after hit. The consistency of this little guy prevails again. We're going to have to see how long this little guy remains champion. Now we've got to turn a zombie into an undead dragon. Some twisted-looking horns, a nice thick body. We'll give it a pouch on its throat to hold acid so it can shoot out. Then we'll make it look undead with some gnarly flesh and bones, super grungy. This undead dragon looks absolutely filthy. Rotten flesh down the side of the legs here. Disgusting. And our guy here is undead, so we gotta stay consistent with the theme. You see that right there? That's a poison sac. He's got poisonous breath. Oh, darn it, I left his front legs not working properly. But the poison breath is working perfectly. It is absolutely toxic. Watch this guy breathe it out. It's not really a breath. It's more of just sort of vomiting onto mobs. I don't know if you heard me or not, but good luck, buddy. This undead dragon is pretty toxic. And here goes the baby again with the first fireball out and lands the first 4 or 5 hits at first. And there goes the toxic pool, and this baby is standing right inside of it. Just right inside of the cube. Even inside of the pool, the little baby dragon is still tossing out those sneeze balls, so that's good. And those sneeze balls have seemed to be super effective. So as long as those keep coming out, it should be pretty good, but not good enough. Oh my goodness, our baby dragon is all chicken. Absolutely toasted by our toxic undead dragon. We've got a new king in town, ladies and gentlemen. Let's turn this guardian into a sea serpent to guard the oceans. We've got to build out this body into a head and long serpent form. Stacking a bunch of guardian bodies together will give it lots of cool spines. Add some giant fins to the side of its head to make it fishy. And give it those guardian orange accents and some dark scaly patterns. We've got to keep everything inside of the arena, so our sea serpent might be at a light disadvantage. Let's see what he chooses to do, though, against a couple of these husks here. He's targeted them, and he throws out frozen water. It's not sea or land. It's in the middle. Comes right out. Boom. Freezes in place. Locks the mob down temporarily before exploding on top of them. Oh, no. That one landed on himself. Oh, my gosh. And putting everything together, we forgot the brains of this guy. He's completely cornered himself against the wall here. And that will not end well if you keep up that behavior, buddy. Let me get you back out here, place you in the center, recharge you to full health, buddy. You gotta stand your ground against the king of the undead dragon. There he lands the first hit, and it's in the right location. Manages to get it onto the undead dragon. That's good to see. So far, our sea serpent is able to dodge the toxic ground, the puke from our undead dragon, at least roughly. The ice beams are landing, and he hasn't landed a single one on himself yet, which is a good sign so far. Our sea serpent is managing to correct things from the battle against the husk. And down he goes, because he cannot get out of these toxic pools here. Nobody has seemed to figure it out yet. An iron golem is perfect to make an armored dragon. Our armored boy needs to be extra thick and bulky. Stubby legs and tail with a huge head and heavy body. This guy's basically got a hammer for a head and armored plating all over. We'll color in so he's like made up of rocks and ores. Look at this beefy boy with his little wings. One of the beefiest dragons we've got. And my hope is that this armor, we can see it act as a sort of protective barrier against the toxic nature of the undead dragon. He sort of wobbles side to side as he walks around ever so slowly. But all that extra weight isn't useless. The armored dragon has a shockwave attack that does an insane amount of damage. Oh, knock that husk up and dies on the way down. And the way that the armored dragon charges to do his attack could get him out of any toxic pools that might be underneath him. Let's see if it pays off for him, though, against There's him backing the armored dragon up, but the charge comes in, and the puke comes out. The armored dragon backs out of it quickly, though. That's the most effective backup we've seen. Another charge comes in, manages, but gets stuck inside the first layer when he goes back for the charge. And now the pools are everywhere. No matter where he moves, he seems to be climbing into a pool of some sort. And the undead dragon is taking damage. Wait a second, flame comes out of him. There goes a charge as well. It's not knocking very high. He goes down regardless. Oh my goodness gracious. The only thing that's left of this armor is 2 iron ingots. The undead dragon manages to come out on top still. Let's see if we can take this slime and make a slime worm. First, it eats a dragon's head, then a springy, spiraling body like a snake. Give this curly worm some wings, a slimy green texture all throughout, and some slime dripping from his jaw. Alright, that is a worm if I've ever seen one. Look at the slime dripping off of his chin. There's not a single feather on these wings. It's all juicy, slippery slime. Even its movement is just bouncing. He looks a little bit more like a spring of some sort rather than a dragon. Our slime worm is gonna throw out projectiles that spread in slime, locking mobs in place, dealing damage to him. Well, they're stuck. Look at that. The slime is slowing him down. Has a little bit of trouble getting out of it, and 2 hits will do it for that guy. Our buddy hasn't taken a single hit, so let's just bring in our undead dragon and see who can come out on top in this one. It's 2 hits for 2 hits so far. They've exchanged hits 1-to-1, but the slime is standing in the puke. The range might help this guy actually keep a distance to stay away from the puke. Just like that, but climbs back into it briefly, can't decide what to do. These slime balls exploding are actually making it harder for any future slimes to hit, and he goes down so quickly. That was one of the most decisive wins we've seen so far. This undragon is on an absolute bender right now, taking down everything in sight, deciding he wants to be the Dragon King forever, but I'm still going to build a better dragon if I can. This magma cube will be our magma drake. We'll make it low to the ground and a salamander shaped. Give it a curly tail and scales like magma and lava. That's one hot drake. Our magma dragon looks tiny, sort of salamander-like. The bounce in this model looks so odd. He gets thinner and fatter as he moves around. Watch him bounce. Yes. Magnificent. Of course, I decided to up the fire breath on this guy. This fire breath is gonna burn, explode, and do a bunch of damage, leaving lava underneath the mobs as well. This should be able to rival our undead dragon, leaving pools underneath. Let's place our undead dragon just a little bit away from the lava. We're about to see if that pool of puke is stronger than the lava pits that our magma drake can make. The pool comes out, it's burning, but the undead dragon falls instantly into the lava, actually taking damage as well. It is working so far. This could be a matchup. It could be close. There goes more lava. That one misses, unfortunately. The toxic pool is hitting him left and right. This is double the man. Oh my goodness gracious. The undead dragon eventually goes down in the lava himself, but it wasn't nearly close enough to call it a tie. It was a decisive win for our undead dragon. Confusing. But not confusing enough. We still need a dragon that can win. And lastly, this wolf will be the biggest dragon yet. A titan. To be a titan, this wolf needs to be huge. Some massive tusks, spines all along the back of that big body. We'll give it a ton of extra spines on its head too. You know, those fins and spines make this guy flare up even bigger. The most massive dragon yet. The Titan Drake. The hair? I want some of that product. And the damage of this Titan Drake is immaculate. These husks don't stand a single chance. A beam of doom. Yellowish in color. The last thing being one hit. Turns around for the final husk over here. The first 2 went down on the first beam. This guy's about to get blasted. Here we go. Bam! And this body looks big enough to hold a brain that's smart enough to stand out of any pit of puke. This could be the closest fight we've seen, or it could be extremely quick. Here they go. The Titan Drake, the undead Drake, the beam lands, the puke comes out. He's burning constantly. The brain is not there.